been said at the funeral for the black man shot and killed by Sacramento police officers more than a week ago. It was an emotional farewell to Stephon Clark as civil rights activists echoed the call for justice. CBS 2's Jeff Vaughn is live in the newsroom now with more from today's service. Jeff?
Pat, good afternoon to you. That funeral follows 10 days of protest. Today, hundreds of mourners gathered to sing, pray, and say goodbye to a man shot by 2 police officers with 20 bullets. Raw emotions inside Bayside of South Sacramento Church, where family and friends gathered for Stephon Clark's funeral.
Stephon is going to live for generations to generations to generations to generations.
Civil rights activist Al Sharpton says the 22-year-old father of 2 should still be alive today.
We saw the video. Do the right thing. We will never let you forget the name of Stephon Clark until we get justice.
Sacramento police officers fired 20 rounds at Clark, killing him in his grandmother's backyard nearly 2 weeks ago. Police claimed he had a gun, but it turned out to be his cell phone. Clark's family says the officers involved should be held accountable. Demonstrators have been protesting for days. They say the killing of unarmed black men in America has to stop.
He shouldn't even be here, period. If they would have handled their job right and did what they were supposed to do, their protocols or whatever.
Police were investigating a vandalism complaint in Clark's neighborhood when that shooting occurred. Out during the funeral in Sacramento today, family members of people killed by police officers across the state demonstrated in Compton. They are asking for more transparency in police investigations. Sacramento police are preparing for another night of protests tonight outside the Kings game. That's the latest in the newsroom. Back to you.
Well, Stephon Clark's brother today apologized for this, storming into the Sacramento City Council meeting Tuesday night. Stephon Clark led a group that chanted his brother's name. Mayor Darrell Steinberg ended the meeting early. Today, Clark said the mayor deserves more respect.
A setback today in Stormy Daniels' lawsuit against President Trump. A federal judge has denied her lawyer's request to depose Mr. Trump about the $130,000 payment to his client 11 days before the 2016 election. Michael Avenatti claims it was hush money from the president's personal lawyer to keep quiet about Daniels' affair with Mr. Trump. The judge said the motion is premature because Trump's team hasn't filed a motion to take the case out of a courtroom and into arbitration. Avenatti plans to refile once it's done.
The latest White House cabinet member to get fired is apparently not going away quietly. In a New York Times op-ed, outgoing Veterans Affairs Secretary David Shulkin claims he was pushed out by people who wanted to put VA health care in the hands of the private sector. He went on to say that they saw me as an obstacle to privatization who had to be removed. Shulkin didn't stop there.
I was not against reforming VA, but I was against privatization, and I think that it was really the political appointees that were trying to undermine our efforts at VA.
The White House denies his claims. The president picked Rear Admiral Ronnie Jackson, the president's physician, to replace Shulkin. And former White House Communications Director Hope Hicks has left the building. Today was her last day on the job. She resigned a day after testifying before a House committee that she occasionally told white lies about the president. Hicks also came under fire for crafting the White House's initial response to domestic abuse accusations against former Secretary Rob Porter. Her replacement will be the president's 5th communications director in just 14 months.
Several states are joining California in a lawsuit to block the Trump administration's decision to add a citizenship question to the 2020 Census questionnaire. Attorney General Javier Becerra filed the federal lawsuit on Tuesday. Minnesota and several other states have joined in, while officials in other states are considering their own lawsuits. Opponents of the question fear it will lead immigrants to dodge the survey altogether. The Trump administration says the data is needed to better identify voting rights violations.
All right, we back. You must understand that these walls behind me, it's cocaine.